Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Would you look at this? Now, I know it looks like, thanks to the beige and the white, it looks like we're actually in the same room, but we're not. We're on opposite sides of London. But we come to you via the form of a Zoom meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the MINDSLAMMER, episode 15, the official podcast of your favourite band, the Rhythm Method. I am Joey, and he is Rowan. Don't know why I pointed that way. He is Rowan Martin, and together we are the Rhythm Method.
I just realised that we're not actually in. We're in gallery view, and we're in speaker view now, so we're all good now. So it worked quite well. So your little intro was just you.
Oh, was it? Fair play.
Side by side. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. It's almost as if it was on purpose. Yeah. So how have you been getting on, Rowan? We are now. Is this 6 weeks into lockdown? Almost 7.
Yeah, I think it's about 6 now, isn't it? I got to say, I'm not doing too bad. I was speaking to someone yesterday who described what's going on right now very well as the revenge of the introverts, which I really loved, because I guess it's like for guys like me and you, Joey, this is really par for the course. We've been here for our whole lifetimes in many ways.
No, absolutely.
A lifetime of not a lifetime of obviously not this bad. And I don't want to make light of anyone's situation, but we've been sort of quite used to isolation, and every day I feel like someone comes to me with some symptom that they've got, and I sort of say to them, it's nothing new to me. Like I've had this for years, like the bad dreams and the sort of things that people are having. So I'm actually doing okay. I'm grateful for the company.
Yeah. I agree with you. We've spoken about this recently, and I described it as like, for me personally, like I've been living my life in a sort of parallel universe, and it's almost as if there's been a sort of like jolting of the timelines that have crossed.
And everything in it now.
Yeah, everyone has joined me in this self-imposed. Well, it's not self-imposed at all. It's virus-imposed. But initially, mine was self-imposed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm the same as you. Really, I'm pretty good. I've handled it pretty well. Really, kind of. It's sort of not much has changed really.
Yeah.
I mean, I was working quite a lot at the time, and now I'm not. But I'm always grateful for a bit of time off work, and
oh yes,
that's all. Even though I'm not making any money, but it seems I don't know, everyone's in the same boat.
A lot of people are cutting their own hair right now. What do you make of that?
Well, as a pro, the advice is always don't do that, because it's going to go badly. I myself, I've given myself a bit of what I like to refer to as a fashion haircut. It's it's a crop, but it's a mullet kind of thing. So it's it's short, but I've mulleted it.
Where's the leg back?
It's coming along. It needs to grow a bit more.
It's early days.
It's early days for the mullet. I'm calling it a French mullet, or le mullet.
This is coming along quite nicely.
Yeah, it is. It's quite a tail. Yeah. Do you know what? It's fascinating that the mullet came back. Yeah. I really thought it did. I really thought it had no chance, but I suppose anything is possible.
I feel like it's a combination of like Mad Max times we're living in and King.
Say that again. Sorry, you cut out.
Combination of like Mad Max times we're living in and the Tiger King.
Yeah. That Tiger King has definitely become massively influential in the past few weeks, hasn't it? It's I only found out recently, and to be honest, it's obvious once you find out. But those songs that Joe Exotic is singing, it's not him singing.
No.
And I mean, once you realise that, it's obvious because of the way he talks.
That's quite common in that country world, isn't it? That sort of like ghost singer vibe.
Yeah.
Those Nashville guys who come in and they go sing on everyone's stuff. I can't believe I just used the phrase "old Nashville guys." We're in songwriter land already.
That's the world. That's the world we live in.
When are we going to go to Nashville?
As soon as this lockdown's over, I'd say.
We're in Graham, Nashville right now.
Yeah. In an upstairs room in Blackpool.
What's the lyric? The army was having my father was having me.
No, whilst my mother was having me.
Oh yeah, well that makes a lot more sense, obviously.
Yeah. Speaking of Graham Nash, that's a great segue into one of my newest obsessions over in this time of lockdown.
Yeah.
Well, obviously we have an ongoing. I don't know how do we put it. It's a club, I guess.
Yeah.
If you're a regular listener, you'll know that we have a strange obsession with Northerners who move to LA or wherever it may be in America, and develop a bizarre mishmash of Northern and West Coast American.
Yeah, Graham Nash being probably the greatest example.
Yeah, Graham Nash is kind of, he was probably one of the first, I'd say.
Yeah.
Although, I was about to say, would you think in the sort of the pioneer times, that develops in the accent back there?
Well, that's probably how they spoke in the pioneer times, wasn't it?
It was a mishmash of American and Northern.
Yeah, it's probably Northerners going over and sort of pioneering into the old West. You know?
Yeah.
Bernie Taupin very much has that way of speaking, because Bernie Taupin, of course, I always wanted to write a song about the Wild West, which is one of
people, boomers, they're obsessed with the Wild West because obviously they all grew up on westerns, and I'm pretty into my westerns and country music through osmosis through my boomer of a father.
Yeah, you've got a bit sort of you're a bit like Eamon Holmes. You've got that sort of John Wayne sort of like boomer Americana boomer vibe.
Yeah. I'm like Guy Fieri meets Guy Chambers.
Chambers of Fieri.
Yeah. But back to what let's talk about. Yeah, so newest member of the club. I stumbled. I mean, I was familiar with his work anyway, in passing.
Yeah.
But I completely fell in love with him watching one of those genius lyric breakdown videos that he has. I'm talking about Youngblood. He's from Doncaster, but he seems to be spending a lot of time in LA. He's either going out with or used to go out with that singer Halsey.
Oh yeah.
Which is all very LA.
Yeah.
Her dad is someone, I believe,
like some sort of exec or something.
Like like an old player, like a sort of Motown musician.
Oh wow, one of the wrecking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But he is just absolutely wonderful in this particular video where he's breaking down the lyrics to the song is called 11 Minutes.
Yeah.
It's they're the most sort of, I don't want to say basic, but yeah, they're pretty basic, like love story song lyrics. They're the sort of lyrics you would write to fill the gap in for the melody when you're writing the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because you always, well, I always seem, I think it's probably the same for a lot of songwriters. When you do write those placeholder lyrics, it is almost often the case that it is those lovey-dovey, love-songy lyrics, because they are the sort of, I don't know, most easiest, most basic songs to write, I guess. But his breakdown is so incredibly, one, impassioned, which is infectious, to be honest. I mean, you can't fault him for that. But also so absurdly, like, just unaware of how ridiculous he sounds.
Yeah.
Like over explaining. Like the lyric is, "You're 11 minutes away." There's literally that line, and he there's a repetition of that in the verse, and he gives two different separate massive explanations for the same line.
Yeah.
And he's just incredible. He's got the greatest vibe, which I think we need to adopt for our second album. aesthetic, which is like global politics guy,
Yeah.
like sort of like vague global politics.
Yeah.
Like I've watched a fair few interviews with him, and they're talking about, so like, you're really political in your music, aren't you? And he goes like, yeah, I am, yeah. And then he goes, if you ask someone like 10 years ago if they're into politics, they'd say, no, politics is boring. But everyone's into politics now because we have to be, because look around you. And he doesn't go any further than that, ever. It's just like, look what's happening. What's happening?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I agree with him. Yeah, I feel like that's probably the most sort of, if you want to go like big time with the second album, which I'm hoping for, we've got to be very vague with our politics, but still be right on.
Yeah.
But be as vague as possible.
It's a great place to be, isn't it? When you enter into that sort of global, cross-border sort of way of being, which I think he's gone into. You know,
yeah, and your Chris Martins and your Bonos and your Stings and your Matty Healings, in fact.
Yeah, Sting did it better than everyone. You know.
Yeah.
And he actually went not just cross borders; he went across time. He started thinking he was medieval.
His little like playing the lute.
At the point where Sting was from everywhere and every time in history, one man, and it was amazing that he managed to keep it all together. It was, you know, very powerful sight. But I can't wait till we go there. You know.
Yeah.
Wearing like little claw necklaces.
Yes, fantastic. Yeah, and it's like vague sort of just tat stuff on the wrists and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and when Chris Martin started writing on his hand.
Yeah.
That was a great vibe.
Yeah, those mementos, isn't it? It's like, you know, this is a great story which someone told me when I was in Rio. You know, and I didn't want to forget it. That's what I did. That's how I'm going to start talking.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that clip I shared a few weeks ago, Chris Martin, he was doing a live stream and he was talking about, can't remember what song it was, but he's talking about how he wrote it and how it was sort of, he was keeping him up at night. And he goes, it was time to go to bed, but I don't like going to bed because life is so interesting. It's true though.
Matt Healy's got a bit of that vibe as well.
Yeah, Matt Healy, that like as I've said, he's indie Bono.
Yeah,
and I think you know he's definitely aware of that. He must be. He's a very self-aware person.
Yeah.
But because he got a bit of hassle for not showing up during the election, didn't he?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, that's because he's beyond local or even national politics. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. He's fighting the big fights with Greta Thunberg.
That's it.
On the front line.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the things I've been getting into with spending my time with the lockdown. I've also been listening to a lot of hip hop. I've been sort of catching up with the last sort of 5 to 10 years even of hip hop.
Right.
I mean, obviously I've been aware and might be into like the big hits, but I've delved deeper and I've come out of it with some new favourite artists, Lil Yachty, Playboy Carti. Who else? Who else do I like? There's a fair few I like, but there's also loads that I dislike, obviously.
Yeah.
I wanted to get out of the habit because I found myself, most of the music I was listening to was sort of out of morbid fascination rather than enjoying it. I have this ongoing theory anyway, which you're well aware of, that if music as art, if it is, I don't know, where like after it is produced and released out into the world, obviously it's beauty is in but the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
So even if I'm not like consuming the song the way it was intended, but I'm enjoying it because I'm either laughing at it or, I don't know, almost enjoying, reveling in the hatred of it.
Yeah.
I feel like the art has done its job.
Right.
Because
so
I suppose
it's got to get a response basically from you.
Yeah. And I feel like that is art at its core.
Yeah.
It's just evoking a response, something that evokes a response. And obviously it doesn't matter what the response is. I feel like that's what's served us throughout our career. That's why being a love-hate kind of band, the Marmite band, has been a great way to be.
Just on a tangent before we get back to the hip hop. Speaking of things which got a love-hate reaction, did you watch the Indie All Stars video yet?
No. You text me the words in the All Stars.
Oh yeah,
and I didn't know what they meant.
A bit more context than that. Alan McGee has put together a sort of NHS. I mean, it's for a great cause. Obviously, it's of course it's raising money for the NHS. But he had put together a kind of ancient supergroup of his old indie guys, and it's about as up your street as it gets.
Oh, brilliant!
So you've got members of the Seahorses.
Oh yeah.
You've got guys from Shed 7. It's a Shed 7 song they're singing called "Chasing Rainbow."
Yeah. That's a great song.
The Zootons is on it.
Oh, brilliant.
And there's so many questions about it, but well, maybe next time if you give it a watch, we can chat about it. But my main point from it is that many indie bands and none of them could get a decent guitar sound.
Oh, really? Is it terribly produced?
It's weird production, and they all look in various stages of decay. They're a little bit like in the Pirates of the Caribbean, the bad pirates.
Yeah,
they look like Crook and Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I'm just looking up now on the NME website, and I see the Pigeon Detectives are involved. And God, yeah, I mean, having seen them in person when we played with them in Manchester about 4 years ago.
4 years, yeah.
It was, I don't know, I felt almost like I needed to call an ambulance for them. It didn't look well.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't look the best, but he looked like he was on death's door.
Yeah, he was wearing the same look as he wore back then as well. It was sort of black.
Yeah. In fact, well, he's in the headline picture with Gary Powell from the Libertines on the NME website.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah, it's.
I really recommend it.
Is it actually? So it's already out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, I'll be buying that. But then, if I buy it and the money goes to a good cause, that gives me every right to take the piss out of it as well.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even
put your money where your mouth is.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll produce evidence that I bought it as well, so everyone can. So all the snowflakes can shut their mouths if they get offended. Yeah.
Back to hip hop.
I mean, there's not much to report from the hip hop world. I watched the Little Pete documentary that's on Netflix. So I recommend that. It's a very good watch. It's depressing as all hell.
Yeah,
must be said. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of his music, in all frankness, but he's definitely. You can tell he's definitely like a gifted kid, and definitely he looks like a superstar kind of thing. Yeah. And has all the characteristics. He's very similar to Pete Doherty in a lot of ways. I found during watching it. But as I said, really depressing because you find out at the end, basically. Well, one thing is that it's actually produced by his management company.
Right.
So it's obviously told from one side's point of view, really. And yeah, you just find out that he had loads of mates that were leeches that would always go round to his and get fucked up and never leave.
Yeah.
And just encourage him to get fucked up and all that sort of stuff. But then you'd have the music industry on the other side. It's not really a sanctuary away from having your blood sucked. And then there's one point.
Time really, isn't it? That.
What's that?
It's a dance as old as time.
Oh yeah. It ticks all the boxes really. Once you it's like watching a Kurt Cobain documentary in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parallels. He lived basically in Skid Row in LA when he first moved to LA. Right. And that sort of shit. It's like living under the bridge in Seattle and that sort of stuff. But yeah,
I don't want to ever watch that documentary about you, Joe.
I know. I mean, I think I'm past that point where it would be a tragedy.
You've missed the boat, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah,
It's
there was
bollocks.
probably about 2 years into the band where it was all looking quite good. Where had you snuffed it, it might have been a sort of Amy Winehouse type
Yeah.
of situation, but
It could have been perfect. But
yeah.
they, I always used to say Pete should have died at 27, but he didn't. Now he's 40.
He's got a hotel in Margate.
Yes, he's doing well. But yeah, Little Pete, recommend the documentary. Depressing as fuck. That led me on to another discovery, which I shared with you last night. One of his mates, in fact, his mate that basically found him dead on the tour bus.
Yeah.
His mate from England, Bexy. He's from Essex. Yeah.
Yeah.
That rapper I sent you last night. So for the listeners, he's a rapper from Romford in Essex. He makes sort of emo trap, much like Little Peep, but he has this bizarre, like, once again, a transatlantic accent, and it's so weird. It's the weirdest voice I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a mishmash of like that kind of zanned up kind of mumble rapper mixed with a kind of London street accent, and then a nice dollop of Romford at the end.
Yeah.
He's a thoroughly modern gentleman.
Yeah. There's a real depressing point where, like, he's living in LA, and then they go, right, we need to get him away from all this, and they send him to London. And obviously, that wasn't the best idea. No. Going straight into the arms of one Mr. Milcavelli on the Holloway Road.
Like on life.
Yeah, exactly. And there's certain rumours about that, but I won't go into that.
Yeah, maybe best you don't.
I won't. But they are. It's good viewing, but depressing. Who else?
That Lexi guy. Because when you first sent him to me, I thought, oh god, this is some terrible like. Because I like to sort of guess people's backgrounds and where they're from. We like to play this game a lot.
Yeah.
My guess was that he was going to be like a sort of. So there's this generation of kids who've grown up in Hackney and, you know, sort of inner East London, and they're all like media kids, and they're all like they've all turned into. Didn't fancy a banana?
No, I was gonna, and I thought you're not going to make eye contact. I felt like I've got no other option but to do that, so I might save it.
Is it a rapper who claimed, I can't remember who it was, he said that any man who eats a banana is gay or something like that? Like that.
That does sound familiar.
Yeah. You have to fact check that.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on with what you were saying.
Yeah, I misdiagnosed this guy Bexy.
Yeah.
Maybe like a media kid who's grown up and he's like one of these horrible like Hackney brats. You know, actually, I looked him up on Wikipedia. He's from Romford and he's got a tattoo of Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy. So
I watched an interview, you know, with Sway. He used to be on MTV.
Yeah.
Like, the guy with the hat.
Yeah.
An interview of him, and he actually came across all right, like despite the accent. And Thin Lizzy, Phil Lynott's his idol.
Really?
Yeah. He's got
Was Phil Lynott the first mumble rapper?
Maybe. Well, he's really into Bone Thugs and Harmony as well. So he does that. That was a terrible impression of it. That kind of fast, skippity.
Yeah. I know the one you mean.
Sort of thing. You know what I mean? So he does that a lot. What else is prevalent? 6ix9ine's out of jail.
Oh yeah.
And he posted an Instagram story, I think yesterday, saying, I think it was May 8th or something. Get ready. So he's going to be doing something on May 8th, which is fantastic. I didn't know that he would be able to get back onto his Instagram because the FBI, it was in the hands of the FBI.
Really?
Yeah, I've found out a lot about his case. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the FBI couldn't. They had so much evidence from his Instagram that they couldn't upload it up to their server.
Wow.
Yeah. So they couldn't even trawl through that. But yeah, so they basically got him to snitch on a organized crime organization that he didn't really have anything to do with above getting them in music videos.
Really?
Yeah,
Weird.
he didn't really do any of the crime shit. He was just he's just a little. He's only like 21.
Yeah. Is he just a little thing, or like wants to be part of the crowd or something?
Yeah, we wanted to be he wanted to be a blurred.
Right. Okay.
And so do I actually.
Sometimes I wish the FBI would take over some of our social media pages.
We might come under investigation by the FBI one day. Don't know what for. I imagine one of those kind of, when you get like a kid in like some home county who's accidentally hacked into the FBI's database
and a gun,
and then they get extradited.
Yeah,
that will happen to us.
Yeah, I can imagine you getting extradited.
I'll be my way into Hollywood.
Make it happen.
Yeah. All right. Shall we move on to? We've got a new segment that we could do. We could do the song critique.
Yeah. Should we do that?
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, we want to actually have a bit of structure to these shows now. And now that you can actually see us, assuming you're watching on YouTube or listening, I suppose I'm going to rip the audio of this. Now that we're doing this, we want to make it a bit more professional. So here is a brand new segment, something that we've been intending to do for a while. Going from our sort of shared love of Gordon Ramsay, our tour life is basically is spent sitting in the mornings at a travel lodge watching Channel 4 and watching the American version of Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah.
And just loving it. It's a real comforting thing for us when we're on the road.
Which is weird. It's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it's really sort of horrible and anxiety inducing. No wonder I'm like tour is just a depressive episode.
Yeah, if our soothing ourselves is by watching Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
Taking chefs in America.
Exactly. Poor sods. But on that though, we love Gordon Ramsay and we love the way that he can not tear down someone and build them back up again.
Yeah.
So we want to do that with.
A lot of people think that Gordon is really critical, and he often is. He most of the time is, but
yeah,
there's a good YouTube compilation which is called "Gordon Actually Likes the Food."
Oh wow!
And it's him. He calls over, the waiter, and he's having a bit of clam chowder in like a sort of New England restaurant. And, the waiter's like going over, and he's really scared. And Gordon goes, "Just what to say? Very well seasoned, very fresh, lovely clam chowder on a cold winter's day."
Bloody hell, that must be such an amazing feeling.
It doesn't get any better than that, does it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that too. Well, basically, the way he can critique someone and turn them into something better.
Yeah.
And we think that we are positioned as the songwriters we are. I mean, just look at our peers, the songwriters that have come out and said that we are great songwriters or expressed that in some way. Just look at that, and that will be enough evidence to tell you that we are some of the best of our generation.
Yeah, that's the only thing you got, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Look at anything else.
Yeah, but we feel like we're in a position to get some new young bands and see what we can do with their tunes. So with this new segment, one sec, we're going to get you to send in a song, and then we'll listen to it on the podcast, and then we'll critique it and tell you what we think, I suppose. But it's going to be no holds barred.
Yeah.
Well, as much as I can. Yeah. So yeah, we've got one for this week.
Nice. So this is a track sent to us by Luciano, and his band is called Luke and the Baby Cakes.
Nice.
The track's called Remember What I Should. I'm going to play it off my phone into the mic. I've actually listened to it before,
Yeah.
Joey, you've not heard it, so this is
No, I'm going in blind. This is my first experience.
So I was going to give you a 1 minute blast of it.
Nice.
Really, 1 minute's all you should need.
Yeah.
55 seconds, they say, is the perfect time for a chorus to come in.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go, Joe.
Although my mind was left tired and wasteless for any view out, I was anyone, no, I could have been wrong. It was the fact that you left me that led me to write this song. Wish it didn't haunt me for so long. Maybe you left me. My heart wasn't good. But baby, believe me, I just remember what I should.
That's enough. Oh, okay.
That was nice.
I was just
watching you there was like watching a reaction video. You seen those on YouTube?
yeah.
Someone watching Bohemian Rhapsody for the first time.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of them. I've watched a lot of American guys reacting to UK rappers.
Yeah.
That's one of my favourite genres.
I'm realising what we're doing right now, which is something we're very used to, which is when you listen to someone play your song on the radio and then you think, what are they going to say afterwards? And it's usually, you know, I won't name any names, but some radio DJ, and they talk about some other banal shit.
Yeah, they're going to some other bollocks.
Poor Luciano here, so I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I'd say to start with, I was a bit perturbed to start with, I'll be honest. It sounded a little bit, it came across a little bit, what's the phrase I want? Bit John Lewis Christmas advert at the start.
Right. Yeah.
But then that sort of groove came in.
Yeah.
And there's a sort of, I don't know, Latin feel to it.
Yeah, it's a bossa nova type thing.
Yeah. And I really like that, as you could probably have seen.
Yeah.
With the shoulders. It got my shoulders moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. Then that chorus came in. It's actually a chorus, which is points already.
Yeah.
For me. And then that nice little bit at the end of the chorus is we've got a bit Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The backing vocals are my favourite thing about it. We love a good backing vocal at the Rhythm Method, don't we?
Absolutely.
We might do that. We should do it next time. We should do a list of the best backing vocals of all time.
Yeah. Let's do that. We'll discuss that on the next podcast.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen. So send in your suggestions for your favourite backing vocals of all time.
Yeah. I've already got a few coming to my mind, so I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
Luciano's backing vocals and that were great. That was my favourite bit of the song, really. And like you say, Joe, it's nice to hear an actual melody. You know, like I can't believe I'm actually saying that, but in this day and age, it's actually quite rare to hear that sort of thing. So,
well, it's rare to hear a melody that isn't like completely boring.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Like a lot of songs, you sort of forget them as you hear them.
Yeah.
But no, I mean that was a very pleasant sounding song.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be sort of top of my playlist. But I don't know what would. Probably sort of some ASMR.
Oh my god.
Someone sort of just
nice. You did it quite well.
Sort of shit.
A nice little sideline.
I've got quite slappy lips.
Yeah.
Slappy lips. But no, it wasn't shit.
No, I think it's a nice little tune. I think you know, it's like a nice, if you got all these ingredients together, you know, if you had some little bit of chili, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of tomato puree, something like that. It's going to taste nice if you put it to a pan. But maybe you just want something in there that just maybe shouldn't be in there a little bit. Maybe something that sort of sticks out. A little jagged, you know. And maybe it's missing that a little bit, but that could be something that comes with a bit of time, you know. But you've got the nice elements down, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
A bit of black pepper with the strawberries, if you will.
Yeah, That's a great way of putting it.
I don't think people do that anymore. That was a bit of a 90s thing, wasn't it? A sort of 90s fine dining kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Again, I can't get away from Ramsay.
No, not at all. It's food metaphors are great.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Great Ramsay, which I'm obsessed with as well. Which is there's this guy in one of the Hell's Kitchen USA episodes, and he goes up to the pass to complain to Gordon about the quality of his steak.
Yeah.
And the guy goes,
yeah,
it's a low grade beef at best. And Gordon doesn't know how to respond to him because I think Gordon's a man who spent so much time in fine dining that he doesn't know what to do. So he goes, "You look ridiculous. You look like a quail."
Brilliant.
I love the idea of a man who can't get away from restaurants.
Yeah.
Even when he's having a go at someone.
Yeah. I wonder how Gordon Ramsay's doing.
I think he's got to Cornwall.
In all this. Pardon?
I think he's got to Cornwall.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, he did, yeah. Oh, yeah, because he got a bit of shit for it, didn't he? And so he should have.
The locals are not happy.
Oh, yeah. And so they should.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be. Yeah, a lot of people did that. A lot of people left and went to their country retreats. A lot of people who I've seen in the Instagram stories, people we know, it's just like, you're such cunts, aren't you? Like, you're very vocal. Like, you're probably the first to sort of be being very vocal about, I don't know, the NHS at the moment, but you're traveling around the country, going spreading your lurgy.
Yeah. What's next on the agenda?
I'd say we do some questions.
Yes, do it.
Fan mail.
No more fan mail.
No more fan mail. Peace and love. Peace and love. I've got them stacked up. You've got them as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a few written down.
Let me just pull one out my ass.
I've got one here from Mick.
Yeah.
Actually, Mick sent us a voice note.
Oh yeah, that's another new edition. I don't know if I can load his though. I tried that.
Oh, okay.
Should have told you. We'll try and get that on the next show, Mick.
Yeah.
I couldn't download it onto my phone for some reason, and I need to play it off that. But we do actually have an audio question from one of our friends.
Battery 30%.
Our friend Ben.
To Galaxy A20E.
What's that?
That's my speaker.
Oh, wow.
So our mate Ben, who is in the band, he's one half of the band Calora.
Yeah.
Ben Salter. I went to school with him. That's how I know. I was trying to think, how did I meet him?
Yeah.
I went to school with him. Yeah. And I actually lived with him at the end of 2010. We moved up to Glasgow together.
Yeah.
Just for the listeners, obviously, you know this, Rowan. I went up there with no plan. A couple of grand in savings, which lasted about a month. He went up there to go to university. I went up there to sort of become I went up there and sort of reinventing myself. It was all a bit, if I look back on it, it's quite taxi driver.
Yeah.
In a way, I was sort of alone in this city. Because obviously Ben, he went to university, and he obviously built a new sort of social circle there. And I obviously found it incredibly hard to integrate when I'm not like spending any time with the people anyway, kind of thing. Like the only time I'll meet them is in a club, which is a terrible time to sort of meet people, really.
Yeah.
So I was very lonely in Glasgow, wandering around, wearing a lot of denim, listening to a lot of Bob Dylan, writing a lot of poetry. And then me and Ben would all like spend a lot of our evenings watching Vietnam movies.
Okay.
And just discussing the big issue. So he sent us in an audio question, which I shall play if it goes to plan.
Now that the whole world has essentially been put in the mind slammer, what sort of cultural or political changes do you see happening as a result of this?
That's a great question.
He's also got a follow-up to that.
Oh, hey.
And more broadly, what does it all mean?
Yeah. So that's a question he and I used to ask each other often, every morning.
Every morning?
Every morning in the week, because it was the dead of winter. Every morning, and we would come into our kitchen, and the olive oil had frozen.
Right.
We would ask each other, what does it all mean?
Yeah, fair point.
And I still don't know. So that would be my personal answer to that question. I don't know what it all means.
Yeah.
I just and I think, I don't know. I'm on the quest to find it.
Yeah.
Always have been.
Don't really want the quest to end.
No.
You know.
No.
That's the part of the idea, really, isn't it? The quest is never ending.
Yeah, I suppose so.
We're always kind of operating on the margins. We never really get towards the end anyway. Which is kind of a comfort and a comforting and a soul destroying kind of feeling at the same time. So that's my take.
Yeah. But
political changes.
Yeah, he had to go with the big one, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, you would like to think that. I don't think that. To be honest, I think everyone will just go back to normal. To be frank,
You reckon?
Near enough. But the only thing I can hope for is people are just kinder now, or just more considerate now.
Yeah.
Or more aware of other people. Maybe it will help people be grateful for what they have as well, because don't know. This is kind of a sort of dress rehearsal for the end of the world kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know. Hopefully, I think on a sort of grassroots ground level, people will just sort of, hopefully, as I say, just kindness will come out of it. Because there definitely is more of a feeling of community at the moment, which is great. But I don't know if that can last, but I hope it does.
Yeah, I think it would be tremendously depressing if we do go back to the old way. Because, personally, I've been very anxious about the path we were on for many years. So I feel like we'd be given a kind of incredible get out of jail free card. All of this. Yeah. And I just really hope that we take it and some kind of reinvention of our species happens, basically. And because is anyone happy with how it was before? I mean, there must be very few people who really want to go back to that kind of lifestyle of nothing really meaning anything in a sense, in a physical sense, in a spiritual sense. You know, we were basically in a sort of desert, basically. And now we found a way out, and it would be a terrible shame if we didn't kind of take that with both hands, basically.
I just don't like with those that are. Well, I mean, the fact is, once we're out of it, the same people are still in charge. So that's the thing that perturbs me. But
there's
also,
though, with the war, as obviously a lot of people made analogies with the war, but when people came back from World War II, there was a kind of khaki revolution, they called it. It was all the soldiers coming home, basically. My granddad was a kind of a big advocate and part of that. And it was basically saying, we've been through this, and now you're going to give us what we want. And I think a lot of people will take that view after this. It's we did our bit, and now we're going to tell you what kind of world we want to live in. Because they've had us over a barrel for, centuries. So that's a very exciting thought to me,
Yeah, it could be.
Revolution, the NHS was born in the first place, so,
Yeah.
Lot to be optimistic.
I mean, I'm not feeling pessimistic about the future. I mean, to be honest, I haven't really even thought about it, to be frank.
Yeah.
I'm very much living in the moment at the moment. Because everything sort of, I don't know, the world changes every day at the moment in extremes. But do you know what? I feel like, as I said, on a grassroots level, I feel like there will be sort of a community that arises. Just because, like, even now, I feel like, I don't know, the journalists, like Piers Morgan, in fact, like I feel like he that could be an example of, like, he's still an arsehole, but he's come round to, like, I don't know. I feel like he's had a realization, maybe.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe people like that kind of have, that these people in charge, especially these ones for our country, are at best inept, at worst actually evil.
Yeah.
That's
it. It's a lot of pennies all over the place, basically, isn't it? Even for, I think a lot of people having those kind of like road to Damascus moments. They're sort of, realizing things about themselves or about the world that they never did before. It's like we're living in bizarro land, isn't it?
Yeah, and I can't work out, like, what are the angles for, like, the extreme right and the extreme left. Like, I feel like both of those sides, they don't know what their opinions are.
No.
Like, I feel like they probably find themselves agreeing with each other at the moment, and they're confused by that.
I think they've both been put out of business overnight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, all those journalists who made a living out of just concocting bullshit.
Yeah.
To just, like, have a Twitter storm that day.
Yeah, that feels really old hat now. Like, that feels like really before. I think I said this before, but I think, like, might think of it as like a watershed in history, a bit like BC and AD. People might start thinking like before Corona, after Corona, or something like that.
Yeah.
And, that sort of shit. The concept of a Twitter storm seems like really, really naff already.
Yeah. All that shit seems so pathetic and insignificant, and it felt like that anyway. Yeah. But especially now. I think. Yeah. Who knows what the future holds, really?
It's kind of weird. For me, it's like an intensification of stuff that was already there. Like the precarious job conditions, the kind of mental health epidemic, the kind of political situation. Like, it was already, all the conditions were already there, and Corona's just like magnified them by about 10 million times. So
you're hold up.
Hello?
You just cracked up quite a bit there.
Oh shit! My connection is unstable. Am I better now?
A little bit.
Hello?
Yeah, now you're better. Yeah, you're good.
That's
you're good.
I said the whole thing.
I think. Wait, are you? Yeah.
Anyway, should we go next question?
Yeah, go
on. So from Mick has asked us, any quarantine survival advice? What do we do for fun now that Enter the MINDSLAMMER has been indefinitely postponed?
Well, Enter the MINDSLAMMER, I forgot what that was for a moment. Enter the MINDSLAMMER was meant to be the first in a series of gigs that we were doing, performing some brand new songs. Well, what we're doing in the meantime, you may have already noticed, is we're kind of leaking those songs that we were going to play. Not 100% behind Mushy's back. Actually, right, the kayfabe for that's been broken anyway. I was gonna pretend. Initially, I was pretending that we were leaking them.
Yeah.
But then obviously now Mushy are involved, so drop that. Oh well. But as you may have seen, we released a lockdown mix of a song called "I Love My Television," which is very much a sound for now. It almost sounds like it was written recently.
Yeah,
and it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't at all. It was actually one of like the original Rhythm Method demos from when it was on the iPad, which is madness. And we're about a week away from releasing the next one, which is a song called Nightmare.
Yeah.
And it's in the same sort of vein, guitar-y, melodic, fun. but sad.
Yes. All those spots that we always hit.
Yeah. We're very much carving our spot in the guitar band world now.
Yeah.
Taking our place at the table next to Vant or someone.
Oh my god.
I don't think they're still around, to be honest.
Yeah. You always had a thing about them.
Yeah, well, he was another one. He was another like international politics guy.
Yeah.
He was also another sort of like, they had a song called Parking Lot.
Parking Lot, yeah. And this guy, he was near Geordie.
It's a car park. Yeah, he's a Geordie. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Do they say parking lot in Newcastle? I don't think they do.
No, it's a car park. It's a car park everywhere.
Yeah.
Mental, absolutely mental. But whoever we're sitting next to at the table, we're causing a storm. We're making noise. We've got our elbows up. We're banging on the tables.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Some bloke left us a comment on Instagram when I said, just before we released I Love My Television.
Yeah.
When I said we were basically coming out as a guitar band now, and they said, "Oh, great, another group of lads saving guitar music." He's got a point.
Yes. Yeah.
I hate that. I hate that shit. But
yeah,
let it be known, our tongue is still in our cheek.
Yeah.
We're just changing the instruments we're using.
That's it.
The spirit stays the same.
Yeah.
We're not indie lads. We'll never be an indie band.
No.
Even though we are an indie band by definition, we are not an indie band. No. I was thinking about this a lot the other day, actually, indie, to go off subjects, but whatever. In fact, it can go on to the next subject. We've been asked about the 1975 and sports team beef. Updates on that from Karen Conte on Twitter. Well, one, got no updates for you. That was a no starter as far as I was aware. I like a good band beef, but
yeah,
that didn't go anywhere. It seems it was sort of two bald men fighting over a comb.
Yeah, very good.
No, I jest, but I do find myself like almost having an allergic reaction to that kind of music, and that's not to say nothing against sports team. In 1975, like this isn't anything I would say to their face.
Right.
But I feel like why we and all of our friend group, in fact, I know that I'm still a bit indie myself, but for the most part, I have like an allergic reaction to it.
Yeah.
And that's because, obviously because we lived through it at the peak of when it was at its worst, basically.
Yeah.
We saw it boom and blossom. Yeah. And then it became that landfill stuff, as they refer to it as.
Yeah.
So now in 2020, as in our late 20s, early 30s, we're all a bit when it comes to that. So as far as that beef goes, I'd say the 1975 probably won because they didn't respond, and that's tends to be a bigger vibe, I think.
You don't really want to be the bravery to the killers, do you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly. That was the big beef when we were like teenagers.
Yeah.
And I think we know who won that one.
Exactly. Yeah. History tells us. Whatever. History's written by the winners.
Yeah.
But I actually rediscovered that bravery song the other day. Still stands up.
Honest mistake.
Yeah. Still better than most music now. Well, most music of that ilk now.
Yeah.
Which is funny to think that they were like a laughingstock shit band.
Yeah.
But yeah, quite good.
Yeah. Comparatively, not that bad, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But there you are. That's music for you. I think even being a band ourselves, the concept of the band is over, really, in a lot of ways. It's all about the song now, for me anyway. I like a good song.
The concept of sort of 4 or 5 lads getting in the back of a van and sort of, lugging around amps, is a noble one, but perhaps a sort of slightly outdated one now. You know, it's kind of
in a lot of ways.
I mean, that went on for a good 40 years. You know, and,
Yeah.
everything has its time, and I think maybe the sun has set on that a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, your brother has pointed this out before. Indie is genre music now, and it's very much like like country and western. And going to an indie gig is like going to a line dancing party.
Yeah. It's not like relevant. It's not culturally relevant anymore. It's something that like a certain group of people will always want to buy into. You know.
Yeah.
Like goth music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Like, there's always going to be goths. There's always going to be indies.
Yeah.
But they're just not where it's at.
Exactly. Indie's just not at the forefront of cool now, like it was in 2005.
Yeah.
Or whenever.
But metal had its time, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's like it's whoever the fashion world is dealing with at the time. That genre is king, and they're obviously dealing with hip hop at the moment.
Yeah.
But I remember back in the day, like Heidi Slimane hanging around, taking pictures of boys.
Yeah. Weird guy.
All of age, I'm sure.
Yeah. One. But yeah. What's the next question?
What is the next question? There's plenty. One from Rich.
Mick, by the way. We should just finish off Mick.
Oh, sorry, Mick.
I've been teaching myself piano. I've got a big book of Burt Bacharach songs, but some of them are quite hard. How do I get my hands on the Rhythm Method songbook? You started.
I mean, it's Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd love to make a songbook. I mean, I that's how I learned my trade.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could absolutely do that. If the world allows us to.
Yeah.
Let's do that for Christmas.
Yeah.
This year. There you go, Mick. That's how you get your hands on it.
I would suggest if you're learning piano, Burt Bacharach's quite a hard place to start, is what I'd say.
Yeah, I was about to say that actually.
Go for
just make it writing a note about
best bet all the time. Anyone can play it.
Yeah.
What was that question, Joe?
What question?
Rich.
His question. Oh, Rich on Twitter says favorite line you've ever written and favorite written by someone else.
Oof.
I think for me that my favorite line that I've ever written will probably always be, "How would you know I was lonely if I didn't tell everyone?" Just because it was the seed that grew into a tree. Despair.
Nice.
A tree of despair.
Tree of despair.
Yeah. But yeah, and I mean, no one's done it yet, but it feels like it would make a good tattoo. So if anyone does get that tattooed,
yeah,
sick.
Get those letters. I know my favourite lyric from another song, a favourite lyric written by someone else, and it's in 10cc's I'm Not in Love.
Oh yeah.
It's a very simple lyric. He says, "I'd like to see you, but then again."
That's nice.
My favourite lyric ever.
It's gentle.
Yeah. It says much without saying anything, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that song's incredible. It's a very gentle song. It's beautiful. I mean, it's the archetypal Uber at 4 a.m. song.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Soothing.
Which is something I haven't done in feels like years. It probably is years now. I've not drunk this year. Well, I mean, obviously not. I mean, I've got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't drink anywhere. I've been enjoying it. Having no booze in your system feels good. For the most part. Huh?
No booze in the house?
Oh, there's booze in the house. My dad's pissed up.
Yeah.
Pissed like a fuck. Pissed the fuck. I'm not even tempted by it. Don't want it, mate. No, don't want it, mate. Don't want it.
I've never seen you as having like a big relationship with the drink. You know what I mean?
Bizarrely, considering all my faults, drink's never been the one.
Yeah. It's the only one you've not touched, really.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't really like it. I've never really liked it.
Yeah.
It's just something I've done. It's just goes part and parcel. that the word, the phrase, part and parcel?
I don't know.
Part of the course. Part of the course.
We've got some more questions here.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, our favourite Scotty.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, fellas. I'll get straight to the point. If you could sample any wrestler's walk-in music for a song, what would it be and why?
I think we have, haven't we?
Yeah, I think we came on to...
I think on our... No. I think we've sampled on a new tune. I feel like we have, or at least experimented with it.
Yeah, we've looked into it a couple of times.
Yeah, I think we're trying to. I think we're Stone Cold, obviously the glass smashing.
Oh yeah.
Start. But other than
that, Billy Gunn is probably my favourite.
I'm an ass man. Yeah, but yeah, we do a cover of that.
Yeah,
I like to stick 'em is the best line.
What is it?
Yeah,
exactly. And Scott's got another question. Regarding current events to comment on, can you confirm that Michael Barrymore's Insta Live streaming himself playing Strike It Lucky board game is the single most MindSlammer vibe going at the minute?
Oh God, yeah, it really is. It's he's alone as well. It feels like he feels like sort of almost like Julian Assange in a way. He sort of, I feel like, because it does feel like he's wanted for murder, and that he's in hiding. It feels like he's in hiding.
That's basically true.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like Julian Assange.
Yeah, I mean, he wrote the book on the MindSlammer, really, didn't he, Barrymore?
Oh yeah.
He was one of the first people to really go into the MindSlammer.
Live on TV.
Yeah.
That's Big Brother.
Big Brother with
yeah. Pour me another drink. That's bang out of order, that. That was Preston. Yeah, Preston.
There's a 53-year-old man crying in the kitchen. That was George Galloway, for those who don't know.
What a bastard.
But yeah, Barrymore was kind of the original like mental health guy, wasn't he? Until he sort of, obviously he's got a few questions to answer, or someone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's the vibe I'm getting from him. Sort of playing Strike It Lucky board game. Yeah. It's like he's holed up somewhere, and he's sort of got a sniper rifle out the window.
Yeah,
he's just waiting.
He goes on a long list of comics to me who are not funny, who are just kind of a bit sad. You know, sort of Freddie Starr.
Most British comics of that generation are generally just depressing.
Yeah, actually quite horrible guys. Jim Davidson, you know.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, with Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler. Well, it's happened twice actually, because Robin Williams and Good Will Hunting. Robin Williams, personally, I could watch hours of him without laughing. Not a fan.
Yeah.
It's not for me. But as an actor, there's a lot of pathos there. And then, Adam Sandler, same thing, to be honest with you. His stand-up, not my cup of tea, but then Uncut Gems, he was brilliant. So imagine Barrymore or Jim Davidson being put into a similar kind of role.
Incredible. In
like a British drama. You know, Barrymore going back to Bermondsey, and he's like a sort of a state drug lord.
I can see that.
Davidson going back to Woolwich.
Yeah. Sort of pimp.
Playing a pimp in Woolwich.
He probably has done films like that. I can imagine he has.
Yeah. What do you call it in wrestling? A heel turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next question is from Rory Tracy on emails. Hello, he says. It was my 21st birthday on Wednesday. Happy birthday, Rory. I wanted to know how you made your 21st, if you were locked down. What's going on? If you were locked down. There you go. That's the question.
Nice.
Right. I was trying to think back to how I actually did spend my 21st birthday. And I was actually in Glasgow with Ben.
There you go. Ben. What did you do?
And I went to a club. I went to Sub Club.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have a late night at all. I think went home, smoking a lot of ganja at the time.
Yeah.
So I was more into that, and I'm still more into that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really do much. So if I was in lockdown, I probably would have I'd probably just do what I'm doing right now, which is writing songs and smoking weed.
Yeah.
But it's specific. But if I were to have a celebration, like, I don't know, probably I'd have a posh wank.
I had a feeling that was coming. There you go, Rory. I hope that answers
What would you do? What would you do?
What would I do?
Mm.
I've got no complaints
Probably
about
the same.
Yeah, absolutely the same.
Exactly. There you go. So if you could just have one of them, Rory. Right. There's another question. It comes from an anonymous.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm trying to work out why this would be anonymous. Perhaps we could establish that after I read it. All right, here we go. Will the fans finally get to see the long-awaited Joey B versus Joe Bish boxing match when the lockdown is over? Not sure if you have heard, but Bish and Tushin have been working hard to resurrect the beef recently on their podcast. They said you would be unbearable if you ever got corona. But it would be worth it if the virus finished you. Oh, great. It'd be worth it if the virus finished you off. Great job on the new tune. Top stuff as ever. So why would that be anonymous? Is it someone we know, do you reckon?
Probably some sort of connection, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon it's probably someone we know.
Yeah.
But to answer the question, I'm really not interested in violence at all. It's something I want to avoid at all costs. But I have been working out quite a lot with this time. Obviously, I've got a bike outside in my garden with this like attachment on the back wheel.
Yeah.
That basically turns it into a cycling machine.
Oh wow.
And then I'll do some sort of kettlebell shits. All that shit. And I'm like getting traps. My traps are coming. Basically, I want to be bodied up by the end of this lockdown.
Yeah.
I think that's what everyone's going for. But I'm gonna do it. But it's not nice to hear that two of my closest friends are wishing death upon me.
Who'd you rather fight? Bish or
Joe and Bish.
Yeah, it's an easy.
Although
easy.
I could see Bish because he's a fat head. If he learned how to punch and put all his weight behind it, it'd be dangerous.
Yeah,
but I don't see him doing that. He's too lazy. I mean, I'm lazy too, but I feel like he almost might beat me on the lazy stakes.
Right. So really, it's just about who's more lazy.
Yeah, I could outsit him, or he could outsit me. I don't know. I think. Yeah, I mean, I do have the intent of taking up some sort of combat sport once this is over again, whether that be boxing or Muay Thai. I don't know, but I don't know if I could bring myself to punch Joe Bish's face in, even if he is a little snitch. Snitch? Trying to think of the word. A backstabber.
Yeah.
He stabbed me in the back. Cold-blooded. But obviously I haven't heard their podcast in months because they made it Patreon only, and I ain't paying for that.
No.
So there's your answer, whoever you are.
PB Davis asks, do you have a daily skincare routine?
Ooh. I do, yeah. I think, and I've had one for many, many years. I used to have terrible skin as a teenager, terrible acne. But I need not until I was about 16. Up until 16, spotless. Then all of a sudden, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
So I became sort of almost obsessive about doing stuff to my face. You'll be able to see sort of the scarring still, really. But yeah, I think I always get ID'd still. I've got a very youthful face, and I think that's probably partly down to my skincare routine, which is I cleanse every day.
Oh yeah.
Just with a cleanser. Then every other day I'll cleanse and I'll exfoliate, and then I'll shave as well.
Right.
Then after the shave, there's little tips for the man out there. After the shave, little ice cube, close up the pores. Very jubbly. And then refrigerate your moisturizer and moisturize. And I moisturize every day and never miss a day of moisturization.
Moisturizer in the fridge?
Yeah, after a shave, yeah. Lovely and cooling.
Wow. Amazing.
Lovely stuff. You're not really a...
I don't use anything.
Huh?
I'm
you don't.
au natural.
You're like a bar of soap, like soap on a rope.
All over. I'm a sort of believer now that there's only like one type of soap and they just put it in different bottles.
Yeah. You wash like you're sort of in the 50s, like in a sort of in a metal tub in the garden with a bar of soap.
My vibe is like Teddy Boy in a bath.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In Quadrophenia.
Yeah, that is exactly your vibe. And then like caked on Brill cream, just like your hair is hard as fuck.
Yeah. Rigid.
Brilliant.
My hair's harder than I am.
What's that?
My hair's harder than I am.
You are. It is. I think I don't. Let's see. Another question. Potentially one last question.
Got Luke here.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Le Fez, Putney?
Oh God, no is the answer. Avoided that at all costs. In fact, well, I mean, despite being from Putney and living here my whole life, I've never actually been on a night out in Putney, really. I've been to pubs, but I've just, the nightlife, having seen it from a distance, just not my vibe at all. I'm an East London guy, go out in Shoreditch and raves and stuff.
I feel like
well, I mean, that is how I spent my youth. I went out east and north and not Putney. But yeah, I can't believe it's now called Le Fez for one. Yeah. It was just called Fez before. And it literally it's like fucking Del Boy. But no, never been. Always see the queue outside. It looks horrible. Sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, never been, never will.
I feel like if you grew up in the suburbs of London, then you had the choice between going out in town or in it, which is like basically Central or Shoreditch, or like going out in the local area. But the local area was always like the shirt and the shoes scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The equivalent would have been like Oceana in Kingston. Which is, again, I never went there and never would go there. Never would have. Like that was complete anathema to me.
Exactly. We were city boys.
City slickers.
Going out in town. Yeah, exactly. Right. What's next on the agenda? Right. I think that will do for questions.
Nice.
All right. That's been the MINDSLAMMER then, I'd say, for the most part.
Yeah.
Just to remind you all, we've got a Patreon. So if you'd like to join us, you can help us out from as little as £2 a month. Obviously, it's a difficult time for everyone, so I'm not expecting anyone to sign up to that. But if you want to, then that'd be great. Also, we've currently got our song out, "I Love My Television." It's on YouTube. It's on Moshi Moshi's 1-800-MOSHI Bandcamp account, where if you go and pay to download it, the money goes straight to us, which is something that never happens in music. We probably would have seen fuck knows how much of a sale of a song, but in this instance it's going straight to us, which is a bonus. And yeah, hopefully in a week or two we shall have another song out.
Yeah,
so keep an eye out for that. And now that we've sort of broken the seal of these Zoom meeting podcasts, this is probably the future of how we'll do it. There's probably a few little bugs we'll have to work out here and there, but that's it. That's the MINDSLAMMER. Thank you all for listening. You too, Rowan. I'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
And to who else, goodbye.